What's going on, everybody? This is Adam's Theory, and I'm your host, Adam. I've been away for a little bit, but I'm back with new topics and hopefully a new direction. Today's show is going to be about um, how to help black people. The reason why I came up with this topic is because I have a lot of friends, and also I've been watching YouTube, and it seems to be the really hot topic amongst us African Americans. So after hearing about this and through my own experience, I came up with my own theory that I want to share with you all, and I would like some feedback on it. Now, first off, let me address something. All these videos that talk about how all black people, we don't got no ambition, we're not thinking about businesses, we just want to go live off the government, the ghetto, and we're not trying to get jobs. Those are talking about a certain group of black people. Like in black culture, in our communities, there are subgroups. And I think that a lot of these videos that's on YouTube that pretty much are always going and talking negatively about us, they're addressing that group of us. Okay? They're not addressing the us as a whole. Because I don't consider myself part of that group of people. And there are a lot of other African Americans who don't consider themselves part of that group as well. All right, so that's one. The group that they're referring to, I mean, I'm sure that you've given them a lot of names. Some call them niggas, because of the fact that I'm going to be referring to this group a lot, and I don't want to use that word. I'm gonna call them the stereotypes because, in all actuality, they are stereotypes. So you have stereotypes, and then you have the uh, I don't want to say the elite, but I'm gonna call it the essential pieces. In fact, I'm gonna go and do a lot of chess references because I like playing chess. So the stereotypes are the pawns. How do you help us as a culture and us as a people? And I think the only way to help us is to be able to identify the pawns and the essential pieces. Now, if you play the game of chess, you understand that there's more pawns than essential pieces. And when I say essential pieces, I mean your knights, your rooks, your queens, and your bishops. And that's also in our culture. There are going to be more pawns. There are going to be more of us who encourage the negative stereotypes. There are going to be those of us who enjoy the status quo and don't want anything more out of life but whatever the block is offering them. There are going to be those types of people. Now, I understand that a lot of us, we want to save them and we want to promote them. And if you play the game of chess, if the pawn reaches the other side of the board, it gets, it changes to an essential piece. But you understand that that usually takes a while. And sometimes it's not even realistic to actually do it. You have to understand that in the game of chess, the whole objective is to put your opponent in checkmate. And sometimes you have to go and sacrifice some pawns to do it. So my theory is using pawns to help the essential pieces of our culture to grow. I understand that it sounds very sinister and it sounds like I'm a freaking comic book villain, but let me explain. I mean, it's the pawns have destructive tendencies. They have destructive habits. And no matter how many PSA commercials and do the right things slogans that you come up with, they're going to continue to do it. So I feel, and my theory is, if they're going to go and destroy themselves, regardless of what I do, regardless of how I may try to save them, let me at least try to profit off it. That way, their lives don't is not totally wasted. Let me explain. It's almost like the tobacco industry. Okay, the tobacco industry is an industry that profits off of pawns, off of people who practice destructive habits. And I'm sorry, if you're looking at this and you are a smoker, I'm sorry, with all the information that we know about cigarettes and how many diseases that it actually causes, if you still decide to actually go and smoke, you are proving my theory. The tobacco industry is profiting off of destructive habits. Let me give you another example of a destructive habit. Wanting to be a rapper. Don't get me wrong, I love rap music. I love it. I really, really do. However, you have to understand that not everyone's going to be a rapper. Okay? Now this theory I got through my friend, not this theory, but this whole field towards, being a rapper, I kind of got through my friend, the Visionary. Pretty much a lot of blacks and other races, but I'm going to go and stick to blacks, are trying to be rappers or singers. And not all of them are going to be. If you put 10 people in a room and that all want to be rappers, maybe half of one person may get through the door. All right? So that's why I kind of feel that it's destructive, because it's just not realistic, in my personal opinion. So because of that, how do you profit off it? Build a studio or learn how to produce instrumentals or beats. So that way they could pay you to use your beats to make these CDs, these mixtapes that's probably never going to go anywhere, and you profit off it. That's one example of profiting off of negative behavior. Another one, which I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, is weed. Now, I'm not telling you to go and sell weed, not at all. But I'm sure that you all know someone that smokes weed, and no matter how many times you tell them that, listen, if you smoke weed, you're never going to get a job, you're never going to pass a drug test, they're going to constantly do it, right? Now, I'm not telling you to go and smoke weed. However, if you can invest in it in some way, shape, or form, that would be a good idea. It's a destructive habit that is hurting a certain group of us move up economically. And no matter what you do, no matter how many times you tell them, they're going to continue to actually do this. So why not profit off it? I understand that it sounds really messed up. I understand that. But I've gotten to a point in my life where I do see that you can't save those that don't want to be saved. Okay? Chances are, by you watching this video, you're somebody that doesn't identify themselves as the pawns or as the stereotypes, that is trying to lift themselves up, or probably is already there. So this video, you're not a pawn. This video is for the essential pieces, the knights, the rooks, the bishops, and the kings and queens of our culture. This video, or this theory I have, is for you all to pretty much show you how we can uplift ourselves. And I understand that what we're trying to do is that we're trying to uplift all of us. But it hasn't worked. And it hasn't worked because it's not realistic. The only way to uplift each other is, unfortunately, step on other people. It sounds horrible, but it's something that's been going on throughout history. That's never going to change. Life is chess. And no matter how you look at it, you're always going to have more pawns. And if you want to win the game, you have to be able to go and move and position pawns in a strategic manner, so it can get your essential pieces in control of the board. And in doing so, at times you do sacrifice pieces. You do sacrifice pawns. So that's my theory on it. I'm looking for some feedback. When you get a chance, post a comment on either on my YouTube wall or my Facebook wall, or hell, if you have my number, you could give me a call. This is Adam's theory. It's not just my theory; it's our theory.